Are you living your passion? What is your passion? Welcome to the LUXE Life Discovered podcast, where we talk with people who are living a lifestyle that reflects their passion, because we believe everyone should enjoy living their best life, their LUXE life.
Welcome to LUXE Life Discovered. I'm with my co-host Shannon Richmond. And Shannon, can you believe we're wrapping up season 1?
No, the time went by so fast.
And another thing we just learned, the light doesn't have to be on the camera to record.
I know.
But
it took us a whole season to figure this out.
So what are your thoughts? Okay, kind of look back when we talked about doing the podcast to begin with, and how different are your thoughts about it now as opposed to then?
I would have to say that when we first started it, I thought it would be like real businessy, and they're going to talk about their business and pretty much it, like a little mini commercial.
Right.
But what it turned out to be is like we got to know more about them, who they were, and what made them tick. And it was just really neat to see really who these people were. It wasn't just their job. They had a life outside of their job, and they were able to express it. And I've learned a lot this time.
Oh, me too. And then, I was thinking last night too, after we did the grand opening at Margaritaville in Panama City Beach, and meeting so many different people there from all over the area, and then looking at so many more possibilities. At first, you think, okay, we've done a season, which is 26 episodes. And
26?
Yeah. And then
wow. We're good.
I know, yeah. And you think about, well, who else can we talk about? Who else can we visit with? And we've not even scratched the surface.
No.
And it goes back to what I had told you when I first thought about this. The amount of talent in the Bay County area, going over to Walton County and all on the Gulf, is phenomenal. And it rivals any talent anywhere in the larger cities in the U.S. I firmly believe that.
I believe that too. And when you said we just scratched the surface, so we have right at 1,400 members. And people are like, oh, well, you're done. Oh, no.
Even if we just focus on our Panama City Beach Chamber membership, we would have episodes. And we've covered people that aren't members and, different areas. And it's just been fun. And some have become members.
That's right.
So that's rewarding as well.
But it's so nice just to see. I mean, this person may lead you to this person who may lead you to that person. And we've gotten from A to Z. And it's been so nice.
That's the other thing. The diversity of our guests have been all across the board. And one that we've got some we're going to talk about, but one I'll pick up that we don't have on our list is the young man that we just visited with who's a professional skimboarder.
Yeah.
And I knew nothing about skimboarding.
I didn't know there was a profession.
Right. And didn't know that there was like a major championship coming up here in Panama City Beach. April 23rd, 24th, and it will be at...
It'll be at Rick Seltzer's, right in front of Mr. Surf's, right in front of Finn's. So if y'all want to come out to Finn's and get you some breakfast, get you some good juice or some good coffee at the Batista Bar.
That's on Thomas Drive.
Yes, sir, right on Thomas Drive. It'll be there the morning of the 23rd, the morning of the 24th. We're going to have all the professional skimboarders from all around the USA. There's even going to be some professional skimboarders from Mexico. So y'all come out and make sure you come out and see them, because they are crazy good. They are crazy good. They'll do flips on a skimboard. If you ain't never seen one of those, you might want to come watch.
Like hit the wave, do a flip, and come back and land on it?
Yes. It is insane. They are so good.
To hear him talk about his passion.
Do you know what I learned from him is that his skimboarding's an escape.
Yeah.
And it helps him to cope with other things, and it gets him through. So who knew?
Right. And to see him so emotional and real.
Yeah.
That was.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah. I can't talk about it anymore because then I'll get emotional.
Yeah, no doing that. So let's talk about one of my favorites, Bill Biscell, Pine.
Oh my goodness. What a treasure we have in that video and podcast.
I mean, that podcast didn't even come out before he passed.
Right. Because he passed away like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after he did the podcast with us.
And he was in here. He's just himself, so full of life and full of love for our community. And boy, he is sorely missed.
Oh, he is. And he was genuine in his love of people.
We're building a little community over there off of Moreland with 12 apartments, which are 3 bedrooms and 3 baths, so you can put 2 in each bedroom.
Right.
And we'll have them open in March, and we have a laundry over there for them too. So we feel like that giving them a place to stay, because rents and everything going so high,
right,
that it would be a benefit to us in the long run to house them.
smart.
Similar to big resorts and everything, and similar to the farmers who in southern Florida have housing for all their workers that come in.
Sure.
And, yeah.
Isn't that amazing? He needs employees, so he's trying to figure out a way to keep employees and get employees. Right. They need housing. He builds housing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's amazing to go that far.
And then you hear that and you think, why don't other people?
Yes, he was.
And he would help people, and his help many more than we will ever know.
Right.
But he was a founder of Beach Care Services.
Right, and we're still, I'm still on the board, and you're still part of it, doing the events. So it makes it even more that I want to do even better, because now he's not here. I want to just keep showing him,
Right.
You took us this far, let us do the rest.
It's kind of like, can't drop the ball now. We've got to live up to that standard that he set.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a great one.
Oh, definitely.
I'd laugh so hard. Some of the things he said, it was like, oh, can we say that?
Right.
He just said it.
Well, I guess so. Yeah.
Hey, whatever he says.
And then whatever he said, it was real. It wasn't,
That's right.
It was just real. And I got tickled when he talked about the spring break issue that used to be an issue here. And and then the gentleman that presented the Humanitarian of the Year award.
It was Jack Bishop that gave him his award.
Yeah, and he said, he and I were on different sides of it, and he came around, and and I thought that's just funny because it's,
that was real.
Yeah, and that was Pine.
Yeah,
so, and I've told you this before too. It took me until he did the podcast for me to be able to call him Pine, and I'd known him for several months, but I just couldn't do it because it's like it should be Mr. Pascal or.
He tells you his name is Pine.
He does, and I finally, after the podcast, could do that. And So, but he was definitely.
We miss him.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. And then somebody else said Forrest Bishop, the chef.
Oh, she was our very first one.
She was our very first guest.
So, what do you love about living in Panama City Beach? What's this area for you?
Oh gosh, the people. I feel like it's either the biggest small town or the smallest big town. I don't know which it is, but I love the people here. The vendors are amazing. It's just a great place to live. I love Panama City. Great place to get married. It's a great place to just be.
Well, with the world's most beautiful beaches,
I mean,
it's kind of hard to beat.
Forrest is one of those people that I've met when I first came to work in Panama City Beach. And, you think of a chef, they do the little high-end foods and they're kind of pretentious.
Right.
You kind of get that in your mind sometime. But, oh my gosh, Forrest is the most personable person you could meet.
I agree.
The most creative. And not only is she creative, her food is delicious. So when you combine those qualities, it's just a win-win all the way around.
What is the name of her business?
Grits.
Yeah, that's
Grits
right.
Coastal Southern Cooking.
That's right. So what I loved when we met with her is how she was talking about different events, and that you just give her a theme and she'll put the food and everything together. And that's why we still need to do that. We need to come up with a theme and have her cook something for us.
Oh, definitely.
Because just yesterday she did the Margaritaville one with you.
Right.
And the food was just on point.
Well, when I contacted her, so we want everything like a Margaritaville theme and to kind of coincide with that. And just the way she came up with the menu and then also the presentation was on point.
Yeah.
So that's as important to her as the meal itself or the food. And she knocked it out of the park. Everybody was like, who is the chef? This is great. Larry Thompson Jr., another person that was so key on being on our podcast, and probably one of the first ones.
Yes.
He was in the first group for sure. But talk about the impact that he has on our community, because he got a huge award at the Chamber banquet.
To know that I'm part of a group that impacts this community like that is so fulfilling.
So he brings all the baseball teams down here, and he fills up all the hotels. I mean, he brings a ton of money to our community.
What was the estimated revenue last year?
I don't remember what it was.
Wasn't it around $30 million?
It was a crazy number.
So
It was
I may
something,
be off on that, but
it was jaws dropping, whatever it was.
Huge, yeah.
So when the traffic's out there, I'll give you his cell phone number.
Right.
No, but when you see that traffic, you know that all this money's coming into our community. So locals are typally like, okay, so what? We wait a little longer.
Well, that's true, and you take that into consideration when you're here. And,
That's right.
I don't like to wait 2 or 3 hours at a restaurant. But there are some people that will do that and happy about it.
Right.
And in fact, I did an event in Arkansas, a 20th anniversary event for a company somewhere, the 20th anniversary. And there was a long line for the catering that day. And the CEO loved it. I'm like, so you're not just, disappointed? He goes, no, because people are still out visiting by the band. They're out the cigar tent. They're, visiting in different areas. He said, plus people in line are visiting with people that they know at our company,
Getting
but
that
don't
networking.
get to visit.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and he said, don't change a thing. And so it's amazing,
When there's lines.
yeah, so it can be a good thing. But they really did enjoy visiting, and that's what everything's about, networking and visiting. So,
Yeah. What about our mayor, Mayor Mark Sheldon?
he does an amazing job.
And he loves
But
our community.
he
And do
definitely
you remember what he
does.
said about his children's birthday?
I let my family know right then I would never miss their special days. If it's their birthday, if it's a graduation, I'm not going to miss that for anything, because they are my world. That's it. And being mayor is part of my world, but they are my world.
Right,
So
right.
we had a city council meeting on October 14th, and I wasn't there. I had talked to the entire council, the city manager, and let them know that I wouldn't be there. Vice mayor had to step up, and I appreciated them. All of them quickly were like, of course you're not going to be here. It was my daughter's 11th birthday.
Doesn't
And he
matter
didn't.
what's going on.
And he
he's-
held true to his daughter, his word he gave us to his daughter. And
Yeah.
it was a big committee meeting that night, city
Yep.
council meeting. And he told the vice mayor, he said, you're going to have to fill in for me because I can't be there. And they're like, well, why not? And he said,
Yeah.
it's my daughter's birthday. And there were people that gave him a hard time for it.
I
But-
commend him for that.
Oh, I do too.
I mean,
think it's-
because his job has got to be so stressful, and to be able to keep his family together, keep his word to his family. I mean, look at that. And then keep our town in check. He's
Yeah.
doing a fantastic job.
Oh, he is. And that's something, I always think Panama City Beach is bigger than it is. But it's not a huge area.
Right.
But there's so much that goes on in this little area that's unreal. And then you're dealing with, how many visitors do you think come here every summer or every
I don't
year?
know. We should probably get Jana with Visit Panama City
Yeah,
Beach on here.
because-
She'd be a great one, and we'd be able to talk to her to find out how many
Right.
tourists truly do come through here.
But it's
Or-
a huge influx of people here.
Sure
Because
is.
from here and then all along the Gulf Coast, and they
Yep.
all come through here at some point. So
And they filter into town. So then we have Destination Panama City, and we'll get
Right.
Jennifer Vigil. We'll get her to come on and talk to us about how many visitors go there,
That's true,
because
that'd be good,
you can
yeah.
only do so much in one area, then you go to the other, and then you back and forth. So it's pretty,
and you may want to go to the other area to kind of get away to
yeah,
alleviate the lines and stuff. So yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's just amazing. So take all that into consideration. Take all the different events that are coming in,
Yeah.
all the different groups and the different, just everything. And then to be mayor of this, and then construction,
Oh yeah,
you have all those issues going on, and which is good because it's needed. But I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot on the plate.
There
not
sure
just
is.
it's not a small town in the middle of nowhere with
No.
flashing light. There's so many components.
and I think our destination's so huge because we're a drive-to destination.
Yeah.
We used to in the winter kind of die off. We're turning into a year-round, so it's very important that our mayor makes sure that he keeps us all rolling, which he is doing a great job doing, and with a smile on his face.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we saw him yesterday; he was happy as he
Yeah,
could
he
be,
was.
and yeah, I So, in fact, when they did the toast at Margaritaville, they tried to get him involved. He's like, no, I don't think I need to be in that part,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was funny, but so, gosh, another.
What
person-
about Zalman?
That's
Is
what I
that
was
how you
just
say
gonna
his
say,
name?
Zalman Harris,
Zalman.
yes.
Wow, that was a
He-
story.
Yes, because he's a photographer in Destin, and also uses part of his proceeds to help Aletha's Legacy. I may have that wrong. I
Wasn't
wanna
that
make
his
sure.
mom?
Yeah, that was his
Yeah.
mom, and it's a orphanage or a school in
Remember,
Liberia.
he said he was never going back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
and
he
then-
left they were in the Civil War.
Yep.
Remembers all the fighting and everything, and his grandmother was killed.
I
when
think-
or was it?
Wasn't his mom?
It was his mom. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Was killed when they left, and he swore he'd never go back. And
now look what he's doing there.
yeah, making an impact in these kids' lives, and named the school after his mom.
Yes.
So yeah, and it's just amazing because things that we can't comprehend. And then he was in a refugee camp for
Right.
in Ghana for years, and so it was really timely of his visit with us because it's dealing with the Ukraine and all the
Yeah.
people fleeing the country and people living in camps and everything.
And what about that rap song he made about it?
Oh, no. Yeah. Was that not crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing too about doing the podcast. We get into, we come in and we think of things we want to talk about with
Right.
the guests. We have those ideas in our mind.
I don't think if we wrote a checklist, if we would ever get through it.
Oh, no. I don't
Because
think
it
we'd
just
ever follow
changes.
it. Yeah.
No.
Because and that's what I like about it, because
Me
it's
too.
just very off the cuff. It's very relaxed, but it'll sidetrack to something else.
Yeah.
And then you dig deeper and it's like, oh my goodness, I had no idea. And
had
then
no idea.
You and I sit here a lot of times and it's like our turn to talk and we're just like with our mouths open.
We just want to hear more.
Yeah, it's like, you just keep going and talk to us. But yeah, Zalman, and he wants to come back on at some point.
Oh,
and
we
we'll
need to
definitely
have him back on.
But yeah, so, who knew all that background?
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. So that's been.
And I love it that they're podcasts, so you can actually go back and listen and see them
Right.
over and over and over. And then you get to know more about them. There's so many things that after we're done with the podcast, I'll be driving back to work and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he just said this about, this
Yeah.
was his mother's legacy and what an impact that is. And
Sure.
it sticks with us. So now we kind of have a little piece of that with us
Well,
and everybody can hear it.
And I've listened to podcasts before that we've done, and I'll pick up on something that I may have missed, the person say, or we've discussed
Right.
because I'm thinking the
next
whole
step
time.
over.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there've been things I'm like, I can't believe that, that type thing. So, but then we have you go from that extreme to Jason Cottingham in Arkansas that was here from our bridal show, and before he left the next day, came in, was our guest that morning. And
Yes.
Jason and his fiancée Tiffany are the greatest people and the most genuine, down-to-earth people you'll ever meet. And they sponsor my shows, bridal shows in Arkansas, but they're good friends. I mean, that's just it. They catered the event that I did this past weekend. So, Trauma Hog Barbecue. Tell me about the name.
That's a big story.
Yeah,
it's a very humbling story. I have a career of ER nursing. I was an ER nurse at a home facility back home. Home is Jonesboro, Arkansas. Right. And during COVID, it was a very trying year. Got furloughed. No one anticipated a lot of nurses to be furloughed during the beginning of COVID, and got furloughed. Went and traveled. Did a little travel nursing. Went to Northern California. Went out there and met some amazing people, and stayed out there for about 6 months. Then we went to Pensacola, Florida. I worked for West Florida HCA Hospital there and met tons of friends in the Florida area. That's what led me kind of down here too.
Right.
And I think we did another round in Sacramento, a small round then. But yeah, that's my background. We always had a background in competition barbecue. Always loved cooking and doing that type thing. Matter of fact, when I was working at the hospital, I was working so much on the side, cooking, and had a huge following at where I worked at, that it's just an extension of that now. And it's so blessed that we started this business and it's just taken off like wildfire.
And how did he get his name?
Trauma Hogs Barbecue. He and Tiffany are both ER nurses.
Right.
And so during COVID, they traveled. I think he did a lot of work in California, but also down in Pensacola. And so that's where the trauma comes, because of trauma nurses.
Right.
So it's not, my wife asked me one time, and she goes, is it because the hogs go through so much trauma or what? I'm
That
like,
would
no.
be so sad.
Yes. He got a big kick out of that. But no, and the thing about it too, their barbecue is excellent, but
Yes.
it's that personal service that goes with it. That's
Right.
what makes it worth it.
Well, I mean, he came to your bridal show at Panama City Beach and
Yes.
brought his whole setup and made deep fried Oreos for everybody. Wasn't that what it was?
They were bacon wrapped
And they
Oreos.
had
They were
bacon.
air fried.
They were air fried.
No, they weren't air fried. They were deep fried.
They were. I don't know what they were.
Good.
Or
though,
they were
yeah.
on the grill.
They were smoked.
They were smoked.
Thank you, Jason. Yeah, that's it. They weren't fried. They were smoked.
Oh,
Yeah,
dang.
smoked on the grill. But
They
yeah.
were so good.
Oh yeah, Jason's
he
going to
came
kill
all-
me for that now. Yeah, it's like, you call my Oreos deep fried.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry, Jason.
Right.
But he came from Arkansas.
Arkansas, Jonesboro,
Just to
Arkansas.
Panama City Beach.
Yeah.
And he also gave away one of the grills to one of the lucky It was one of
Grooms,
the one of the grooms, and that groom was so excited to
and
win.
Yeah, and he then the next week he was at my show in Arkansas and gave another grill away.
Wow!
Yeah. So they're good supporters. They my show in Arkansas was the first one they did when they opened, and he gives me more credit than he should on that. But it said it just set the catalyst for his business. But it's their food, it's their service, it's just their whole concept is great.
Yeah,
so
he was
in fact,
awesome.
he was in Fort Worth. He did my event in Arkansas on Saturday and left Sunday morning to go to Fort Worth. He's on some barbecue council now that he's just named to, and went down. And then also the company that he talked about out of Georgia that makes this trailer.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a custom. They featured his trailer at the stockyard in Fort Worth. So just great people. Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
What about our friend Mallory with Relax and Eat Cake?
Oh, Mallory's another favorite of mine that, and a new chamber member.
She is.
Panama City Beach chamber member.
Yes. Where did you get your name from that you came up with?
So when I first started, it was just Cakes by Mallory because I didn't know what, and at some point, I have 4 kids, and so I would take like little breaks, maternity leave, I guess. And I can't remember which child it was, but after one of them, when I got back into the scene, I was like, I need to rebrand. Like Cakes by Mallory is, boring. And I don't know how I came up with Relax and Eat Cake. I think it was just like, that's what I want couples to do when they come to me. Like, don't worry about the cake, relax. Tell me what you want and I'll do it. Like, cakes is supposed to be fun. So I guess that's probably where.
Or else you were so involved with 4 children, you just wanted to relax and eat cake.
Yeah, like, get me out of this house.
I love that name.
Right. No, it is.
That's a great name.
I wanted something catchy, and then, what you see is what you get. Like, you're going to relax and eat cake. That's my goal.
Mallory is my contact, my go-to here in this area. I have one in Northwest Arkansas, a cake lady that, they're the only 2 people I recommend. And it depends on where I am. But the reason is because rarely do you find cakes that look great, that taste great. And with both of them, I know that they can do anything that I ask them to do, and it's going to be as delicious as it looks good.
I know.
So,
You can just, almost like Forrest, you give her an idea, this is what we're looking for, and she comes up with the whole concept of the cake. And then wasn't it crazy, the nerve-wracking of delivering the cake? She's like, yeah, I got it.
I know, it's like no big deal.
Yeah, and we're like, we get a cake from Publix, so we're worried about shaking it in the box.
And she's like just doing it.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a lady that does my bridal show in Arkansas. She has a bridal shop. And so I'm always nervous carrying in the wedding dresses. And so one day she pulls up and she's in her husband's truck. And it has the cover on the back. And she pops that cover and just starts pulling dresses out, and they're in their
yeah, but you think you'd want to carry it.
Yeah,
like
I know. She's just like pulling them. She goes, "You can't hurt them. Come on." And so it took me a long time to really realize I can't hurt them, but I think I could hurt them. So I don't. I'm very careful with them. But
well, with Mallory, if she hurts a cake on
she
the
can
way,
fix it,
she's got her little kit. I don't remember what she called it, but it was so funny. What was it called? But she has a special kit. It probably had a bad word in it.
Yeah, it did.
It was funny. That's it.
Yeah.
That was it. But yeah, she can fix it on site.
Yeah.
So the nerve wrack.
I need one of those kits for everything.
I do too. I don't know what that would look like, but I do too. But yeah, the cakes that we tried at your bridal show. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Didn't she say she made all these cakes and she made plenty She made plenty, and she actually made more than enough.
Right, and they were all gone.
They were all gone. Yeah. She left with nothing.
Well, the last concept shoot we did here, anybody that works with me knows that I'm kind of over the top a little bit on some things. Yeah, I know. It's like I like to go above and beyond. So this concept shoot, we had a serpentine table, so a little winding table, and I wanted for each table the centerpiece to be a cake. And so she did 3 different cakes for centerpieces on that table, and then did an even larger cake for like the separate cake. And it's just amazing. So again, she's my go-to in Panama City Beach. So Mallory Archer with Relax and Eat Cake.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, we've had a season, haven't we?
Oh, we have. And Gary White.
Oh, with high definition coaching. He's actually a John Maxwell speaker. He is so amazing, and the things that he does for our community. So he does tons of lunch and learns at our chamber. He does them for free.
Oh, really?
He does those for our members to benefit, and he even does them for non-members, but it's held at our chamber.
Yeah.
But he teaches them the John Maxwell method, and he does it for free.
So I really am living my best life now, and it's just going to get better. It's just going to get better. I'm great today, but I'm going to get better tomorrow.
I like that positivity.
The word refine means to once again make great, right? So we got to go through the fire to get refined, Shannon, right?
Absolutely.
We got to go through the fire to get refined, but we can once again be made great every single day.
And he does have classes that you can take your whole businesses through. But when you're first joining the chamber or you're just new to business, he'll invite you to come to one of his lunch and learns. He'll feed you. He'll teach you. He is so inspirational. Him and his wife, Kim.
Yeah.
They're
fun.
Oh,
too.
they
Yes.
are so fun. If I could just play my recording for my birthday message, you would know exactly how fun they were. They sang both.
Oh.
It was hilarious. I just loved it. They're just genuinely good
They
people.
are.
And to hear about their sons, we need to have him back to hear what his sons do.
Right.
One's on a mission, and it's amazing some of the things that he's doing and how he's helping. And then another thing that you didn't know about Gary White, because at our annual awards dinner, he and Missy from our office got up and sang the national anthem.
Yeah, I saw the recording of that, or the video of that. Yes.
It was,
Who knew that either one of
I just got
did
chills.
You know, I didn't know that.
I knew
could
Missy
sing.
liked karaoke, and I knew
Okay,
she
really?
liked to sing, but when she belted that
That wasn't
national
just a little
anthems,
karaoke song. Yeah,
no.
they did a fantastic job.
They did a great job. I just got chills thinking about it again. And then, this year was for the very first time this year, we actually had Jason, our very own Jason, come out and do a videography.
Jason Price with Ripplefy Media and Studios.
Yes,
Oh,
that's him.
Wow.
So he actually came out and did videography and put a whole little video together for us so people could get a glimpse. So it's pretty amazing.
He's kind of talented.
Yeah, he's quite talented. Who knew?
Who knew? That's right.
Yeah,
and
but
then Robin Evans from
the COO of By the Sea Resort.
Right.
She's also on the Panama City Beach Chamber Executive Board.
Okay, great.
And she is one that is for our community, for our chamber, and
but it's also wonderful to interview somebody who says, I say to them, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the young person may say, I'd like to be a firefighter. Okay, come on board and I'll teach you the skills that you need for that. In fact, I may make a phone call and let you speak with someone who is a firefighter, who can let you know the skills that you need to do, the steps that you need to take.
Wow.
That person doesn't necessarily not get the job because they want to be a firefighter.
Right.
I see something in them, some desire and passion and drive that for a year or two may be very good for us. But in the long run, for his lifetime, it's going to be very good for him because he does learn the skill sets. He does learn dependability, reliability, organization.
to get to know her is to love her. She is so nice. She almost looks scary because she looks so like, I'm so professional, and she's the sweetest person.
Right.
I mean, she does so much for our community. Like our ambassadors, when they come to an event, they're taking their own time to come to our event.
Right.
So we want to always give them a little bit of benefit. So she gives us a 2-night stay every quarter, and we draw for a winner every time. She gives
That's
it to
nice.
us to
Yeah.
stay at one of their 11
I
properties.
was saying they have 11 properties along the Gulf, and
you could pick from any one of them, and she just gives it to us. I
That's
mean,
great,
she just
yeah.
is so nice, and she's always giving back. And I just love Robin.
well, that's good. And they do a lot in the community, like you said.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, they're ribbon cutting at the Radisson. That's one of their properties.
Yeah.
That was such a nice and what I liked about what she said there, because the former hotel was called Legacy.
Right.
That was one of their flagship hotel thing.
Right.
And then when they renovated and updated everything and went under the Radisson name, then that was their new Legacy. And so she just tied it in perfectly. I think later I said something about it. She goes, well, actually, somebody else had said that. I'm like, but I heard you say it. So as far
That's
as I'm
right.
concerned, you said it.
that.
Yeah, that's right.
She's so nice.
She is. So, oh man, and we've had other guests on as well. It's just been such a good, diverse group of people. And in fact, Jason had said this originally. He goes, he assumed I would have people just from like my wedding or event businesses. And I think it's been probably maybe other than Forrest and Mallory and maybe one more. It's been completely opposite of that.
Isn't
It's
it
been-
funny how it just turned into, like yesterday when you were talking to Leanne Leonard from Pier Park?
Yes.
You're like, oh, you should be
She
on
will-
the podcast.
Yes, I will be getting
But
her.
it's when you meet people and you start to talk to them, it's like, oh, I want to know more about your story.
Right.
And it's so nice. They're all willing to come in and share with us.
Well, they are. It doesn't cost them anything. It's just an opportunity for them to come in on our podcast to share 30 minutes about whatever they want. And several people, they're nervous at first because
Yeah.
they've never done it. But it's just a
They do
relaxed,
so good.
Yeah, they do. And it's just relaxed atmosphere. And that's what I want it to be.
So do we have any sneak peeks for the next episode?
Oh, June 1st begins season 2.
Okay.
And next week, our guest will be from the Spring Hill Suites and the new Hyatt at Pier Park, which is
Ooh, not open yet.
not open yet. It
Coming in June?
It'll open the first week or first, probably like middle June, late
Okay.
June. And that is going to be a property that's out of this world. I mean,
Yeah.
it is. And then we'll be working on season 2 guests after that. And it's just going to be fun to see what season 2 brings, where it takes us, because
Yeah.
we all have some ideas of locations we want to go to. And
Ooh, go
if
on
they want to-
location?
Yes, maybe even at the new Hyatt Pier Park. So we're
Okay.
that's a thought, but it's just it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited to showcase more, and I'm glad that we're able to do this.
So let's just real fast before we wrap it up.
Okay.
What made you decide to do a podcast? Why are we here doing a podcast? You're not from Panama City Beach.
No.
So how did that happen?
Again, it goes back to the talent, the people, and the love of the area, because this is I want to say a hidden gem. It's not hidden because people know about Panama City Beach.
Right.
There's a ton of information, a ton of talent, a ton of passion that needs to be exposed.
That's awesome.
So
I've had such a good time.
I have too. So we look forward to season 2. And
Yeah. I'm not kicked out?
No, we'll have you back for one more season.
Okay.
After that, we'll renegotiate the terms. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been an absolutely blast doing this for season 1. Season 2 begins June 1st, and stay tuned because it's going to be even more fun, more guests, more diversity, more anything you can think of. It'll be part of it. So thank you and have a great day.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and want to support our show, leave us a review. That's the #1 way to help this show reach others just like you. Join us next time for another Lux Life Discovered.